A new festival banner will be live on JP in 6 days' time. So people are wondering and speculating who the festival is going to be. Well, we got a little more speculation now because it's although we have a reliable source leaking something, it's not entirely 100% who it is, but it's an interesting one nonetheless. So you might know who 7DS Leaks is, the only current leaker on the game, and the most reliable we've ever had. And he's got, thank you by the way for the tweeting at me. I didn't see this before. A a very big news drop for us that it could be the next festival, either Demon King MELI or Demon King ZELDRIS. I find interesting the image used for Demon King ZELDRIS here. I don't know if it's on purpose or if it's just he just picked one that he liked. But, Demon King ZELDRIS has many of these, like, cutouts and many of the forms, right? Because if you go in the game, right, on the chapters, how do you go for chapters again? I always forget how to get... It's here, right? Yeah, it's here. No, how do you... I always forget. Doesn't matter. From here, you see, like, he has this form, right? The big one, like the one that he's like full-on Demon King, basically, right? But then there's the intermediate one, which is like right before, and there's also like this one where he's like he's mostly Zeldris in this one, but he opted for the intermediate one for the image used. I don't know if that means anything, but I would personally, if we were to get a festival character for of these two, if it is Zeldris, I would prefer this form, the intermediate one, over the big bulky one. I think the big bulky one should also be a unit, but it could wait. You know what I mean? Like, this could be a character that has multiple forms, and if they drop the final one already, then are they gonna drop the other ones any point in time ever? It's the same thing I have with Estarossa, right? I think this is the chapter of Estarossa, right? No, it's a little bit earlier. Estarossa, while going berserk and turning into Mael, had a lot of these forms, right? Like this, like, completely berserk form, and then, in between Mael and Estarossa, where he's like half demon, half goddess. I wish we had gotten some of these characters, like the full-on berserk one where he goes, this is the bell. I really wish we had gotten those characters before getting a full-on version of Mael or full-on version of Berserk Estarossa, or Assault Estarossa, however you want to call them. But, is what it is. But if, again, this is an opportunity for us to get this Zeldris, and then eventually, in the future, get this full-on version of the Demon King, still Zeldris possessed. But if we are to get either of these characters, one thing is for sure: Demon King buffing the Demon Team. Demon Team once again, #1. We will never escape. We will never escape. How long have demons been God tier? They still are. I mean, right now, I wouldn't say they are top team, right? The #1 team in the game is, without a doubt, 7 Deadly Sins. Ban, Lost Vein, and the End. I think it's like... And then I would say second place is Ragnarok. Tier, I think in a general sense, because you can make so much with a lot of these characters, right? You have the Scotty team. There's a lot of teams that work, but in a general sense, what you see most people use, 7 Deadly Sins is #1, Ragnarok is #2, and I think Demons are still #3. So, like, Demons are still a top 3 team in the game that can win against the other 2 teams. And potentially, we might see a replacement, if it is a Zeldris, right? A replacement for this Zeldris, which, is a very good unit. He is a support unit, and support units are good. But, let's be real, ever since launch, we've been like, we only like using the Zeldris because it is a Zeldris, but he's a support unit, you know? Support units shouldn't be characters that we want to use like this. You know, Kusok being a support unit, totally fine. Chandler being a support unit, I am 100% in, you know, agreement with that decision. But ZELDRIS should not be a support unit, right? So, what I really hope is, first of all, I hope it's ZELDRIS. Because if it is Demon King MELI, for one, you know you will not be able to use him with MELI. And same goes for ZELDRIS, right? Even though they might even be called Demon King, and then maybe in parentheses, like Meliodas or ZELDRIS, it may, even if it is like the possessing thing, or the main character in the name is Demon King, doesn't matter. You won't be able to use it with MELI or with ZELDRIS in that case. And if I'm going to be able to replace one of them, it's ZELDRIS. Like, no question about it. Because, bro, we have two, like, top tier MELIs. We have Lost Vein and Purgatory MELI. I don't want to replace them. I think it would be a stupid idea to drop Demon King MELI right now, while these two characters are like gods here, and you can use either or. They're both super they But ZELDRIS, although he has a really good unit, he has two good units actually. No, Festival ZELDRIS has not fall off, but for different reasons, right? They are good units for different reasons, different uses. For the Demon Team, for sure, you want to be using, you know, the Nebula ZELDRIS. Nebula ZELDRIS being replaced is fine by me. Like, he has a Holy Relic already, so he's capped. Like, he's gone. There's no, in this game, either you are capped by the Holy Relic, or now I guess a future possible LR can happen. But I don't think Nebula ZELDRIS is gonna get an LR, and if he is, it's like 10 years from now. Okay, if the game is still up and going, you know, maybe. But Nebula ZELDRIS can go, fine by me. I hope they would make, I mean, with demons, it's so easy for them to make it, like, stupid still, right? You know what they could also do? In the same update, drop Kusok's Holy Relic. Man, I mean, if they're gonna go all out, you know, if they're gonna go all out, drop Kusok's Holy Relic, which gives them, like, another stat boost. It, like, works in the back, gives all demons 20% basic stats. Like, give him like Nanashi's Relic, you know what I mean? Like 30% basic stats, go all out. And then, because if they give Kusok a Holy Relic, it'll probably be the new demon, by the way, which is, you know, is what it is. But if they give Kusok a Holy Relic and he doubles it, right, then he would fulfill the presence of this ZELDRIS. You won't need ZELDRIS anymore, and you'll still be getting like a similar stat boost. And so you can, you know, with full confidence replace the old ZELDRIS with a new one. Even if the new one ends up being not as much of a stat booster. But I hope that if they go on the route of, you know, making him replace ZELDRIS and making demons be that good again. Not that they're bad, but, you know, number one again. I hope they go in like an Astarosa kind of route, where it's a character that does something for the team as well. Although I say that, no, with knowledge that Astarosa would still be on the team. So, you know, he is already doing something for the team. There's no need for another one similar. But you know what I mean, like, not only being like a super good damaging character, like Astarosa is still a very good damaging character, even like over, like, it's about to be a year since he dropped. Even a year after he dropped, he's still like a reliable damaging character if you need him to be. But he is a support unit, right? I hope it's more tilted in the direction of Demon King ZELDRIS would be a reliable damage dealer, like a proper damage dealer. Maybe not as good as Purgatory MELI, but at the same time, he is a support unit for demons, but that's not his main thing. Like, how ZELDRIS' only thing is being a support unit, like, you know, he helps in many ways, right? With his stat boost part 2 with the relic, and then sealing healing, right? With the debuff card, applies darkness because it's AoE, stuff like that, right? He has that going for him. He is entirely a support unit. You never, ever, ever have to use him as a DPS unless you're like, shit. My Zeldris is the last survivor in the 1v1. I just so happen to max ult max ult gauge in level 3. He can do some damage, all right? But you know those cases are very, very, very unlikely. I hope it's more tilted in the direction where he is a damaging character, but he also has a supporting side to him. And that would be my ideal character. But what do you think? Are you excited for another demon character? It seems like a fever dream because, you know, we barely get characters from the series anymore. Half of the characters that we get are original characters. I'm not exaggerating. It is. If you go look at the list of releases, and I'm not gonna go all in and you know keep one by one saying, but if you go on the list of releases, right, this year we've got half original and half characters from the series plus the collabs. So in actuality we got less characters from the series than non-characters from the series this year. So we already don't get many characters from the series to begin with these days. And then on top of that, it's adding on to a team that's already very strong. Kind of funny. But, you know. I honestly can't complain about Demon King MELI or ZELDRIS. Oh, I didn't even talk about if it is Demon King MELI. I mean, I'm not considering a possibility. Like, I know from the message that Alexis posted, he says it's hard to tell. I want to close my eyes and believe that they are not going to drop Demon King MELI right now. It's not the time. It was the time last December, you know, when we thought it would be Demon King MELI, but ended up being Purgatory MELI. That was the time. Because there was no MELI, like, ruling the game at the time. Like, Trader MELI was still very good in PvP. Like, he was still a pretty decent character. By the way, when he's gonna get Holy Relic, huh? Man, a Holy Relic for Trader MELI. Oh, I hope they give him like good, like a good boost back. That would be crazy for PvE as well. I hope they give him like a proper PvE Holy Relic. Like make him good. He's already good, but like make him even better for what he's good for already. You know what I mean? But regardless, he was pretty good. But there was no MELI like ruling over the game, and then they dropped one that did. So it made sense, but now we still have that. So I don't even want to think of the possibility of that. But if they were to drop Demon King MELI, I mean, he would just be a crazy DPS. I can't think of him in any other way. There's already enough support characters for demons. Like, ZELDRIS wouldn't be replaced, so he would still be, you know, there. And Kusak is there, Staros is there, so he would just be a crazy DPS. And what about the possibility of them dropping both together in one banner? Not gonna happen, so. I wish, but not gonna happen. Anyways, I mean, if they were to do something like that, it should be for end of year. Like, July? What a random date that would be. For them to finally drop a dual festival? I don't think so. So yeah, that's about it.